Hey there! Welcome to Crafty Kathy, the channel where you will find love, laughs, and DIYs. I'm so glad and thankful that you came to craft with me today. I am the owner and creator of Kit's Vintage Farmhouse here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This week I've been working on some elegant, shabby chic Victorian style ornaments that sell like hotcakes in my booth. And if you sell at festivals and that type thing, these are a great thing to make to resell. So let's jump on in. I'm starting out with my DAS or DOS clay. I get this off of Amazon. This is in my Amazon store in case you want any. It is my favorite air dry clay to work with. You just have to kind of roll it around in your hands to warm it up for a moment. I'm going to be using the top of this cup, also this little mason jar lid, and then the very top end of a candle jar so I can get that perfect circular edge on some of my ornaments. But the main thing that we're going to need for these ornaments is going to be that clay. And I also have my little rolling pin so I can get it to the correct width and shape that I want. I'm going to start off with some stamps. Now, these are some of my IOD stamps that I got this year. This particular one is called Merry and Bright. I know that most places are sold out of this, but a lot of these supplies that I'm showing you in this video can be found at www.miltonsdaughter.com. And when I picked the one that I wanted, it had 2 reindeer on it. It was so pretty. And then it had very small words. I can't really read the words because they were so tiny. And all I do is I'm just going to press my stamp down into my air dry clay, and it's going to make the most perfect impression. The middle part here didn't have anything, and so I'm using a different stamp that says Merry Christmas and pushing down only that part that says Merry Christmas so that word will come out in the center. Then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to kind of shape it up the way that I want it, as close around to the image that I can so it will fit down on that ornament very, very nicely. And I'm going to use a skewer to make a hole in the top here because at this point I wasn't sure if I was going to use it as is, as a hanging ornament, or if I was going to put the glue on it and put it on an ornament. But in the end, I decided that I did want to put it on the front of this large ornament, so I just put my glue all around the back of it, and I just use my finger to rub it in. I like that quick and thick glue. It's my favorite glue to use on any of my molds. And so I'm just going to go and place this right in the center of my little ornament here. You just simply very carefully kind of smooth it out with your fingers. Make sure that all the sides are touching and that it's going to be laying on that ornament so it can dry. And then I like to take just a little bit of like masking tape and just very lightly tape it, and that way it's going to stay in place, and then I just set it aside so it will totally dry. I left these alone for at least 6 to 7 hours so that they could totally dry for me. Now I'm going to use my very favorite mold that I have from IOD, and it's the birds. I believe the name of it is Bird Song. I'm going to do one of the large birds with my DOS clay, and then I'm going to also do 2 of the smaller ones. What I really love about their molds is that they have this little lip, and they are so easy to make the most perfect mold where it doesn't go over the side, it doesn't run over the side, and their molds are so easy to use. And my favorite clay, like I said, is the DOS clay. I have used the IOD clay before, but I do prefer this DOS clay myself. And since I had placed some cornstarch inside my mold before I put the little clay in there, I just flipped it over and the birds were so easy to come off. On the next one, I'm going to use my cozy stamp. And it has these 2 little reindeer that they look like they're an embroidered reindeer. That's the only way I can describe them. And so I roll out another little piece of clay, and I've got my little reindeer, and I'm going to put the words on there, tidings of comfort and joy. I just simply add all the stamps where I want them at, and then I'm just going to push them down into the clay where it's going to make the most perfect impression of all the words and images. I'm just going to take my piece of clay here and I'm going to lay it across my ornament to make sure that it's going to fit. It is a little large, so I just used my fingers to kind of peel away the parts that doesn't have any writing or an image on it. And I like to have that organic ripped look on my edges. I think that's really pretty when the ornaments are finished the way that they always turn out looking. So then I just put my glue down on the back of my ornament, and then I just rub the glue in with my finger and place it on the ornament. Now this ornament is one of those that's almost, it's not flat, but it's not a rounded ornament either. And it's very easy to put any type of embellishment on. It's just really easy and a good way to do your DIY ornaments. Now here I'm just going to take one of these smaller birds that I have. I'm putting my glue on it and I'm going to place it on this gold bulb. Then I take the other bird and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this mauve bulb. And by the way, I had taken all of these ornaments outside. They were just clear ornaments that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I took them outside, and the ones that are already colored, I spray painted those. And I used a color called Vintage Rose and Rustic Sunset. They're both pink colors by Rust-Oleum 2 times. Now here I'm using the top of a mason jar to kind of push down and make out a perfect circle for one of my ornaments. On this one, I'm going to use my stamps that has the little reindeer heads, and I'm going to just do 2 reindeer heads and the word Merry. And it's just going to be a perfectly little round stamp, and I'm not going to attach this one to an ornament. This is actually going to be the ornament itself. And so I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did earlier and take a skewer and make my little hole in the top, because I'm going to have something to hang this ornament with after it dries. The next one is from my little reindeer mold set, and it's just a reindeer head. As you see, I'm taking my glue and I'm going to place it all over my reindeer, and then I'm putting my reindeer down on one of my little ornaments, and then that's all I'm going to do to that one. I'm going to tape it up and put it to the side so that it can dry. The next one just so happens to be my most favorite ornament of all of these. I wanted to use my mold that I have. It's an IOD mold, and it has different size snowflakes all over it. And I made a medium-sized snowflake, and I'm going to take this snowflake and place it on the front of one of my ornaments. Now this ornament, I had also spray painted it before I started the session just for the sake of time, and I spray painted it an ivory color. And I'm just putting my glue on the back of my snowflake and placing it on the ornament like I did all the other times before. And then I'm going to place it to the side and let it dry. The next set of stamps, I believe, is called Traditional Pots. It is also from IOD. It's one of my favorite stamps of theirs, and you can use it all year round. And I picked this one that said the marmalade on it, and I'm just doing it like I did before, where I take a little bit of the clay and I push down on the stamp to make the impression. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut exactly around this image. Then I'm just going to place some glue on the back of this, and I'm going to put it down on one of my beautiful mauve colored ornaments. Here I'm taking the larger size of the birds that I had created. I'm putting my glue on the back, and I'm going to put her on one of the ornaments. I absolutely love this birdsong mold. I think it is so beautiful and so elegant looking. Here I'm going to make my ornament. I had rolled out my clay already, and then I actually used my roller to push down the stamp really well into the clay. Then I'm going to use the top of this candle jar to make that perfect round shape for my ornament. Here you see that I have all of them already dry, and now we're going to do different things with different ornaments. I'm actually going to take a few and paint them, and I'm going to just paint them in various colors. I'm going to start off with that sunset rose color because it needs to blend in with the actual ornament, and so on the first one, that's what I decided to do. If you're liking this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button because it really helps me out on YouTube, and subscribe and become part of our family. On the one that turned out to be my favorite ornament, I took the color Vintage Linen, which is an off-white color by DIY Paint. It was already painted. The ornament itself was painted that ivory color called Ivory Bisque by Rust-Oleum. And so I'm painting this the Vintage Linen. And then after it totally dried, we're going to move on to the next step. I took some Mod Podge and I'm going to place this all over the actual snowflake there. And then I'm just going to take some of that beautiful gold glitter and lightly dust it all over the snowflake. My friend Lori over at Milton's Daughter, she has a lot of these mold transfers and stamps in her store. And if you use the code CraftyCathy10, you get 10% off of most items. I'm going to leave her information in the description box below, but it's www.miltonsdaughter.com. I saw that she has this mold in her store. It's absolutely my favorite. When the Sunset Rose one has dried, completely dried, I take some DIY white wax and my little waxing brush. I get both of these items at Milton's Daughter. And I'm just going to place this white wax all over my ornament and just wipe off the excess. And it's going to stay down in those little crevices, and it's going to pop and look so beautiful and vintagey. Now, I went over the little reindeer with just a little bit of that metallic gold by Folk Art. Then I went back over it with the white wax again, just to kind of knock down the intensity. And then here we have a gold ornament, and I'm going to paint my bird with the Vintage Linen. And I only give her one coat, and then I'm going to let her totally dry. When she was dry, I thought it would be really pretty to take some of these jewels that I get from the Dollar Tree. And you see this is kind of a gold, I guess it's kind of like a goldy copper kind of color. And I just went around the crease there on the ball and just kind of set her aside so that she could dry. Here I've taken that ornament that has the large bird on it, and I'm using the Dixie Belle color called Juniper. It's a beautiful darkish green color, and I'm going to go all over my bird and then allow her to dry. When she was totally dry, I went over her and over that whole ornament with the DIY white wax, and my goodness, she turned out so pretty. Now it's time to finish our ornaments off. I take the one that has good tidings of comfort and joy. I put a simple little lace bow around the top and one of my Totally Dazzled jewels. And then I'm also taking that strand of pearls, and that's what I'm using as the hanger for most of these ornaments since they're a shabby chic flare. Now the one with the snowflake there, I'm telling you, that is my very most favorite. And I thought that it needed an extra touch, so I went through all my little Totally Dazzled pieces, and I had just got a whole set of snowflakes, and I'm going to place one of the snowflakes right in the center of my ornament. And man, you talk about beautiful. I also painted the tops of most of these ornaments, by the way, but I just didn't show that. And here I'm taking the color that's made by Waverly. It's called Mineral. And I am painting this beautiful bird that mineral color. I kind of wanted her to be a little more simple. I also do the mineral color on that cute little reindeer head that's on the vintage rose colored ornament. And here on my beautiful gold ornament that I had went over with those Dollar Tree beads, that coppery color or the gold color beads, I just took a little bit of the gold paint on my finger and kind of rubbed it across her, added some Mod Podge on her, and just a little bitty bit of glitter. I just wanted kind of a dusting of glitter on her wings. Not too much, and it really turned out so pretty. I took that really pretty reindeer head and I'm going over him with that DIY white wax, and I really like the look of that. It was very simple. I didn't need to really add anything else to it. I took that one little bird that I had painted the mineral color, and I'm taking some of these little strips that I get from the Dollar Tree. And I guess you would say these are little beads too. They don't have any sticky backing on them, so I just glued them. And I glued 2 different stripes going in 2 different ways so it would kind of be close to the bird, but not really framing the bird. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I just thought that it was pretty to add that to the ornament because it was a little something different than the others had. On that last very large ornament, I had painted the front of it with the mineral color and I let it dry. And now I'm going over it with the DIY white wax, and I go over the whole ornament when I do this, and I just kind of wipe off the excess, and that white lays down in all those little creases because the IOD molds and stamps have so much detail. It lays down in there and it's so beautiful. I decided to frame this out with the little pearls, and I'm just using glue to do so. I'm putting a couple little beads of glue here and there, and I'm just framing out the little front piece. I really wish that I would have used that candle jar to make it a perfect circle on the front, but oh well, you live and learn. I'll catch it next time. My last 3 little ornament pieces, I used the color Celery by Waverly, which is a very light green color. 2 of the ornaments were just flat, and I'm using them as the ornament. And then the one is actually attached to the ornament. I used my Best Dang wax, and it is a clear wax by Dixie Belle. I used it on the one that had the little reindeer here because I wanted to go over it with the antique wax. Now, the reason why I go over it with the clear wax first is because it makes it so much easier to wipe off that excess. If you just go straight in with that antique wax, it's a lot darker and it's a lot harder to get it off where you want to, wipe off that excess. And then I also went over everything with my DIY white wax, including the one that I had went over with the antique wax. Don't forget to hit that little red subscribe button if you haven't subscribed and become a part of our family yet. I would love to have you. And now we're just going to sit back and look at my ornaments that I created. I made a total of 10 different ornaments, and these all sell really good for me. So if you are intending on selling your DIY ornaments, these are a great choice, and I hope this video helped.
I will be home for a couple of days, wander around with you. You and me in the cold, thought it'd never be true. Wherever I go, I got you. Oh, I have stopped running, there is no way trying. You better loosen your belt. Drinking hot wine by the fire, don't care of anything else. It's Christmas and some kind of love, my friend. I pray it will never end. Do you like to be here too? It's Christmas outside snow's glistening. It's just you and me tonight. I'll spend all this Christmas with you. Oh, it's such a charm, got you up in my arms. There's nobody at the door. You said I wish this will never be over. Darling, it's time for your present. Come over here. Now it is time to get out in the snow, lighting a light with you. Choirs will sing and the joy bells will ring. Nobody loves you as much as I do. It's a wonderful feeling from floor to the ceiling. It is that time of the year, drinking hot wine by the fire. Here on our own, we got nothing to fear. It's Christmas and some kind of love, my friend. Pick up some candy canes and hang a wreath on your door. It's Christmas and outside snow's glistening. It's just you and me tonight. It's just you and me tonight. It's just you and me tonight. I'll spend all this Christmas with you.
Sweet Christmas song. The snowflakes are dancing in time. The children in rows.
Hopefully, since the flu has passed through my family, we can get back on our regular schedule, which is every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys. On my next video, I'm going to introduce my new baby, Roxy, the little tiny Yorkie, but I had to put in a couple pictures just for a small little sneak peek and cuteness overload. God bless y'all.